yank it to fold. Watch this. And that truly is like the ultimate remote office. Meaning all the work of the front suspension is already done. They've done an amazing job with the color this time. It's not just exterior, but also interior. Early 5 seconds. My car actually takes longer than 5 seconds for that 0 to 60. That person really wanted to take over this Ssangyong Tivoli in front of us, huh? Put it to the parking, take the car key with you. It is something that you just really have to test drive and see for yourself. Welcome to CarSceneKorea. I introduce newly released Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia cars. As you guys saw from the thumbnail, I am test driving Hyundai IONIQ 9, which is the first EV flagship EV SUV from Hyundai. I am in a test driving session, so there are a bunch of IONIQ 9s rolling right now, and the car size being, a few people are having struggle getting in and out of the parking lot. This 360 view cam comes in super handy. As you can see, I can get in and out of the parking lot no problem whatsoever. It's actually my second time test driving this vehicle. I thought I would be able to check out the second and third row seat ride comfort, but then apparently it is just me driving today. Might as well do a whole new review test drive video on the car once again. So if you are looking for the in-depth interior, exterior, and the car design review in general, please refer to earlier videos on the channel. I have a variety of videos on the IONIQ 9 that's including all the color choices of the car in real world, under direct sunlight, under fluorescent light, you name it. And I also do have the test drive with my wife Dima in Korean. There's the EV9, look at that. The sibling car. This car is truly a large size vehicle, and this car made from E-GMP electric global modular platform, the same platform that's been used on all of IONIQ series up until today, IONIQ 5, IONIQ 6, and other Kia EV cars such as EV6, EV9, you name it. Oh, there's also EV3, which is the first front-wheel drive E-GMP EV car. So there are a couple of things that I have missed out from yesterday's review. That is, this car comes with Smart Regen 3.0. What it does is, it sets the Regen brake automatically and even puts the car to a complete stop, which is something that you have not seen on other EV cars except Kia EV3. Kia EV3 was the first car to get that implemented, and I absolutely fell in love with the EV3 because of this Smart Auto Regen 3.0. What it does is, watch. Just lift my foot off the accelerator. It's not the iPedal. It's not me calculating in advance when the car is going to come to a complete stop. No, it actually gets enabled by looking at that over there. You will see auto and stop. You don't see iPedal, which this car does have, by the way. And also you can set the Regen brake all the way from level 0 to 3. So there are level 0 all the way to 3, which makes it 4. There's iPedal, and there is now the Smart Regen 3.0, which makes it 6. So 6 different types of Regen brakes that you can set with the IONIQ 9. I mean, there's got to be the level of the Regen that suits your needs for sure, in between all that different Regen brakes that you can choose from, right? Of it all, Smart Regen 3.0 is by far my favorite. I am trying my best to explain it in words, as you can see. But the thing is, it is something that you just really have to test drive and see for yourself in order to enjoy what this mode is really like. So I can just hit on the accelerator as much as I want to and just lift it up. The car will utilize all the information the car can. Well, most importantly, the sensors in front of the vehicle, and the car even uses the onboard navigation's information in order to find out where the bumps are, how the car is going to behave like, what the car is going to be like, you name it. By the way, this is the group of random people test driving the vehicle today, so that person really wanted to take over this Ssangyong Tivoli in front of us, huh? But as you just saw, there is no shortage of power whatsoever, and I did clock 0 to 60 yesterday, and that was together with 3 adults sitting inside, and we still managed to get early 5 seconds. And I've seen other YouTubers and reviewers clock shocking 4.9 seconds even. That number is surprising on this full-size EV SUV. I brought my 15-year-old Nissan 370Z. I mean, that car is a sporty coupe, but that one, my car, actually takes longer than 5 seconds for that 0 to 60. A family EV SUV that is faster than, although it's over a decade old, it's faster than a sport coupe. Can you believe that? That is the era we are living in nowadays, people. And that is actually precisely the color that I test drove yesterday. The brake lights lighting up bright, beautiful. It is red dots everywhere behind the car, as you can see. So let me get back to that Smart Regen 3.0. Kind of got lost, kind of got off the track, which I do all the time. I am just using it. It is actively working on its own right now. It is really, really comfortable. I mean, I am on the freeway now, right? Of course, I am going to activate the HDA2, which has the latest tech ADAS from Hyundai. IONIQ 9 does a beautiful job. The car showed me that it can clear even tight corners on a non-highway exits and corners even. I will include that footage right now. It was almost like that winding toge-like courses, but the car maneuvered beautifully. That was all HDA2 working. Enable the HDA2 when you are on the freeway, and you can use that in cities too, right? But like I did with the EV3, I will always be using this auto regen on city drives, and I'm definitely going to be asking what the auto regen mode is like when you are sitting on the shotgun, when you're sitting on the passenger seat, second, third row seat, and of course I will test it out myself too. I planned on doing that in today's review, but apparently it is me driving, so I am doing this all over again. In yesterday's test drive, Dima actually had a severe motion sickness kicking in at the end of the test drive because I've been testing out this and that. It was also very twisty toge runs that we went to yesterday, so she had no choice but to fall asleep for that matter. See, when you need to overtake, pick up some speed. Look at this. And look at that beautiful color, by the way. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh my God. They've done an amazing job with the color this time. It's not just exterior, but also interior. Once again, I have a full review of that on the channel. Please refer to that video for up-close shots of cinematic, amazing footage of the vehicles inside out. As you saw, the BVM blind spot view monitor, something that we have been seeing throughout, is applied, and that DSM, digital side mirror, also provides an enormous view by having extra alerts implemented right here, so we get secondary aid as to the vehicle being in the blind spot or not. Let's try out the speed bump. That was 30 kilometers per hour. 35 kilometers per hour. So it does an amazing job canceling out the residual shocks, and thanks to the enormous wheelbase this car has, there is plenty of physical room, space for the front suspension to get rid of the unwanted residual shocks, and there is plenty of time. Watch again. Suspension front and rear. So there is plenty of time in order for the front suspension to work and do its job before the rear suspensions hit the pothole or speed bump, meaning all the work of the front suspension is already done by the time rear suspensions hit the speed bump, as you saw. As you can see, this is one of the loudest road you can be on, but I got no complaint. Very quiet, cozy, and thanks to the 360 view cam, I can park my car perfect in the parking lot just by looking at the digital cam alone, just like so. You'll also see when you reverse the steering wheel, it also shows the angle that the car is going to go into. And watch this right here. When you flip it to left or right and reverse the car, look at that. It zooms out that way. It provides more visibility out that way. Same thing for that side as well, just like that. So all this extra safety tech and feature I absolutely love. Let me quickly wrap up that Smart Regen 3.0. I've been going over and over about it in my EV3 video, but thank God IONIQ 9 has gotten it. It is just a beautiful piece of technology. That is the Inosphere Green Pearl, which is like the signature color of this IONIQ 9, and that is again under broad sunlight. You can see it all on my previous videos. The white interior is going to get a bit dirty, as you can see. All right, let's go check out the second and third row seat, which is something that I missed out yesterday. And it's a flush door type, as you can see. When it's out, you see the IONIQ 9 right here, and there's IONIQ 9 right here too. There are 7 pixels here, kind of suggesting when the name was once thought to be the IONIQ 7, right? So maybe that is the reason why. The flush door type, watch that. Look at that. So fully automated. The door opens up super wide. The door itself is also the side skirt, meaning the inside of the car is going to get kept clean, so that way you don't get your pants dirty. Don't worry about it. You can also adjust your seat right here. And the second row seat, this is just insane. I've never had this much space in the second row seat before. I mean, yes, there was Palisade, right? But it is completely different experience to that of the Palisades because of the sense of space I get inside. It is just unrivaled. It has the thigh support right here, which makes a huge difference. On the second row seat, it's not included in this car, but you can also get swivel seats. And just imagine sitting here on the second row seat, folding the seat down, working inside your car, using your laptop. And that truly is like the ultimate remote office that any freelancer can dream about. And that is me included. So people are just checking out the car. Look at that. Amazing trunk space right there. To push the button right here to easily get in and out to the third row seat. However, the car being, I can easily squeeze through using the center tunnel. And let's try out that third row seat now. Push this guy back up. It is quite tight. However, it's the third row seat we're talking about, right? Watch this. You can tilt the third row seat using, that is all motorized, as you can see. And Hyundai pointed out significantly about this 100 watts on all rows. Third row seat, second row seat, 2 over there, and in the front row seat with 2 100 watts, and the third one without the 100 watts. That is plenty of output that you can run your laptop. So you can also fold the seat, all motorized. And not just for this side, but both of the sides as well. So this is, oh my God. So this is the level of inclination and declination you can get on the third row seat. Of course, no one is going to be sitting like this, but it is there. That way you can load as many as things you want in the trunk with the third row seat upright. So this will protect the items falling all the way into the cabin. So let's go see how much that space is. I mean, you can already see it probably, but there is just so much space even with the third row seat upright. Let's go check it out. Air vents, AC vents for the third row seats, and you see all this A and C are active noise cancellation R. R stands for road, and this shoots out the counter frequencies coming into the cabin. It works essentially the same as how noise canceling earbuds work. Once again, this is me on the third row seat, and if I can, let me squeeze to this seat right here. And this is like what? Watch. Worst sitting position that you can possibly get. The second row seat having like the VIP seat, and I am literally squeezed in between the seats. But even an adult male, 175 centimeters, weighing over 80 kilos, can fit the longest wheelbase EV SUV made from E-GMP from Hyundai Motor Group thus far. This car is larger than EV9 even, and you can use this, yank it to fold the second row seat just like that. Super fast, easy, quick fold. Let's go check out the trunk, and everybody is taking off. I gotta catch up. The button is right here. Fully automated, of course. And voila, this is the trunk space that you get with the third row seat upright. Look at this. Can you believe that? And the interior, the second row seats folded down, and that right there is the Universal Island 2.0. You can hold the trunk when you are staying inside your vehicle, 12-volt system outlet, and you can do all this using the V2L. Of course, the charger port is fully automated. You can see the charging status and the battery status looking at this lights. Again, exterior, the walk around, I have the video on my channel, so please refer to that. This is a 21-inch wheel, largest wheel you can get on IONIQ 9. The last car is taking off. Let's get back. Just look at this design. Isn't it gorgeous? And this active air flap, the dual motion, it will actually open up and get tucked in. I am running out of time as always, but I just don't want to leave. All right, let me show you the front. You can do it by pushing the two buttons right here, fully automated. And you just heard the motor running, right? And there is no latch because it's 100% automated. Therefore, you will be using the front more conveniently and easily, which means more usability. So let's go, let's go. And of course, there are several wheel designs when it comes to the IONIQ 9. Which one is your favorite? I actually am a big fan of multi-spokes, so this is my favorite. IONIQ 5 versus IONIQ 9. Again, the car was just telling me that the smart Regen auto was on, which I always want this car to be in. The ride on the asphalt is just amazing. Let me just quickly show you this Universal Island 3.0. Look at this. So you can adjust as much space as you want on the first or second row seat to your needs. And this comes into a huge play when you have parked in a tight, narrow parking lot. You can actually get out through that passenger seat, which I actually have done a multiple of times when I was test driving the IONIQ 5, excuse me. This also contributes a huge difference in terms of the sense of spaciousness you get inside this vehicle, even when you're not physically using this. Everybody 100% would agree that you will feel this. And this applies the same if you are when you are sitting on the second row seat too. And the smart auto, this is just amazing. So same thing, exact same experience I have gotten from the EV3 that I praised about. The sense of the drive, NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness, and the coziness I get inside the cabin thanks to the ANCR that I told you about. All this is just a whole new level. Completely different experience to that of the EV3 for the obvious reason. Something that I've been meaning to tell you ever since I started going about the suspension. This car, despite the fact that IONIQ 9 is the flagship EV SUV of Hyundai, the car does not come with ECS, electronically controlled suspension. I am pointing this out because the latest and the most recent ICE flagship SUV from Hyundai, which is Palisade, there is all new Palisade. I have tons of videos on the channel. That car has gotten what's called preview ECS. That literally previews the road in front of the vehicle and utilizes the ECS to adequately control the suspension, the ride, to a point where I couldn't help myself but bring up the name Genesis. And it was quite something that I did feel. I couldn't help myself but to bring that name up because there just was no other comparison. I wouldn't really say the Palisades is superior over IONIQ 9s. However, there clearly is a difference of a car having ECS versus not. Hyundai did mention and point out that there was not so much of a need for this car to have the ECS due to the nature being. Because car being full EV, there is delicate motor control which actually adds on to the better ride and the drive. And I can tell you this with a confidence because I have test driven other Hyundai hybrid cars that enhances the drive, which controls the pitching movement of a vehicle by utilizing the motor. So imagine how much work, delicate work, this IONIQ 9 can do with two motors sitting front and rear. And also due to the nature being, the car being a flagship full-size EV SUV with largest battery packs that you can get from Hyundai Motor Group cars, the car is heavy than ICE cars. However, I wouldn't necessarily address that to be a downside because I actually do really like this weight closer to the ground by allowing lowest center of gravity, which also contributes a big time to cornering. So watch this behemoth giant perform on this tight corners and exits, you name it. and put the car into a sport mode. You can feel all this to yourself. The handling is super agile. The vehicle would turn to whichever direction you want the car to turn to, and no shortage of power whatsoever, despite the fact that I am climbing up the hill, this steep, super steep hill like this, as you can see. Amazing, amazing work, amazing ride, NVH. I have no complaint whatsoever. There might be some people pointing out, criticizing about that missing preview ECS. I don't know, even with all of that, I dare to say that it is just pleasant enough. I would really need to have the Palisade side by side in order to pinpoint the differences, but I mean, due to the nature being, these two cars feel completely different. The weight, the size, the technology put inside, right? The ride with the E-GMP, I always absolutely loved about. So this ride is just amazing. But despite this large size, I have no issue whatsoever maneuvering through the tight corners and turns. Once again, thanks to the latest tech, 360 view cam. Just have that. I can pretty much see most of blind spot points, no problem whatsoever parking the vehicle. And lastly, let me utilize the RSPA2 Remote Smart Parking Assist 2 so I can remote park this car after I have gotten out of the vehicle and tried to park it in a tight parking lot. And reversely, after you have finished parking the car in a tight parking lot, you can pull the car out just using the key fob, so you don't need to worry about it. Once again, you can get out through this universal island. So it doesn't matter where you park, you can easily get in and out. And thanks to that tiniest DSM digital side mirror, which does not fold nor unfold. Look how small, look at the size of that thing. There's no need for that thing to be folded. I am at the destination. Let me wrap it up by showing you that RSPA2. Last but not least, if you've been watching my channel, you guys know that I actually have signed up. All new Hyundai Palisade hybrid fully loaded model. With all this right now, I really might be considering this IONIQ 9 over Hyundai Palisade. You can see it all here. I pedal level 3, 2, 1, 0, and press hold the right again in order to go into that auto, the Smart Regen 3.0. Wow, I didn't even have the auto hold on. It was just stopping on its own because it was on that Smart Regen 3.0. All right, so I did turn the RSPA2 on. So let's try it. Put it to the parking, take the car key with you, get out of the car, and just use any of these buttons right here. So this is the RSPA2 working. And it's going to park tight next to the pillar, and it is going to use the space as much as possible. And I have 100% confidence in car because I've done it multiple times. I even blindfolded myself and parked the car. So you can see that it will go in and also correct itself again, utilize the best of the parking lot there is to it.